In Venezuela, citizens go to the polls on the first national public consultation of 2025, a democratic process that strengthens communal power. In Canada, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced the imposition of tariffs after describing President Trump's decision as a betrayal. And in Palestine, the Israeli army killed at least 25 Palestinians during operations against the West Bank in the last 13 days. Hello and welcome to From the South. I'm Ana Marrero from the teleSUR headquarters in Caracas, Venezuela. Now we will begin with the news. Stay with us. In Venezuela, the first national public consultation of 2025 is underway. Venezuelans go to the polls to choose the project that their communities needs. The Minister of Communes, Ángel Parado, informed that there are more than 36,000 projects nominated for this Sunday voting, where more than 5,000 will be elected. The remaining projects will also have the opportunity to be developed. Also, the proposals were discussed by the communities themselves in open assemblies. The more than 1,100 parishes in the Bolivarian nation go to the 5,245 electoral centers to cast their votes on this communities' driving initiative. And as we were saying this Sunday, Venezuelans vote in the first national public consultation of 2025 to choose the projects to be financed through the state's public budget, effectively going more voice to the people's power. Our correspondent Belén de los Santos with more on this. Hello, Belén. How are you? Can you give us the remarks at this hour?
Hello, Ana. How are you? It's great to talk to you. And we are here in Caracas, as you were just saying, actually in the Ana Karina Rote commune in the San Juan parish here in southwestern Caracas. Here is where we are, and what you are seeing right behind me, that is not just a lot of citizens coming to vote and participate in this public consultation. This is actually the government in exercise. Today, these people coming here to choose on these projects are a form of the government. That is what we were just talking about with the neighbors here at this parish, also with the leaders of this commune, the spokespersons. You know that the commune have different spokespersons related to each topic, and what they were telling us, what they were transmitting, is this idea that the mandate to really, for the people to take charge of this government, to exercise their mandate to decide on what they need for their territories is happening today, has been happening in the past consultations, and this one, that is the first one this year, and that is the third one so far since last year, has had a great turnout. We were just talking also, you could see behind me, there's a long line waiting, people that keep on coming. Let's recall that it's 4:30 p.m. in Caracas at this moment. We've been here since 8 a.m. touring different neighborhoods, and every time we arrive at one of these communes or communal circuits, it's the same image. We have at least one block of people waiting to exercise their vote. The people keep on coming, the lines keep on forming. Even there are people that are going back to their homes to come back later because the centers are already full. And that is a really good sign that the people really understand that this is a moment of participation, and this is a moment for them to decide on their territories. And it's a good sign. That's what the leaders of these communes, the members of the communes, were saying. It's a good sign that they are trusting this process of change.
Thank you very much, Belén, for your remarks and information. Hope to have you in our next news brief. Thank you. And now we'll continue because also in this context, teleSUR tour communes and communal circuits throughout Venezuela to evaluate how the national public consultations have impacted the organizations of neighborhoods of the territory. Let's see.
In Quebrada de Cuba, located within the Valles del Tuy region in the Miranda state of Venezuela, is the Ña Plácida rural commune, described by its inhabitants as the spearhead of popular organization in the region, as its residents have been working for years on collective solutions to improve the community's daily life. Like this, they arrived to the first public consultation of 2025 with the enthusiasm to continue promoting their strategic projects.
We arrive here, as with all our previous consultations, with a lot of optimism, of hope, and above all, with a lot of determination to win in order to satisfy specific needs.
One of the main issues faced in the area was the water supply. The implementation of the project resulted from the first public consultation of 2024 has not only provided an efficient solution to this problem, but has also strengthened the unity of the community's neighbors.
The self-management and self-government methods are so important to improve the quality of life of our inhabitants. The Ña Plácida commune had already been without potable water supply through pipes for many years. And we even managed to make 3 extra houses to benefit from this project.
The elderly, children, women, men, all participated. What impacted me as coordinator the most, as well as my fellow community members, was the union, because this had not been achieved in any of the 30 communities of Quebrada de Cuba that an entire community went out to execute a project.
In Ña Plácida, when a conflict is approached creatively, it can even become a benefit for the community. This is the idea behind another of the emblematic projects of this commune, which has found in recycling not only a way to eliminate garbage dumps, but also an engine for change in the future.
We must make people see, from the youngest to the oldest, that garbage is not a problem, garbage is a means of production. Nowadays we are much more prepared in terms of waste sorting, which is the most important thing in recycling, and the benefits that each recycled product brings.
Emily and I are the ones who drive the garbage trucks on the pickup route every day. That's not an easy feat, but it has been achieved here.
From the provision of basic services to the promotion of culture as a means of transformation. Through collective action, the commune members of Quebrada de Cuba have found a way to build effective responses on a daily basis, convinced that they are on the right path.
Everything we propose here in the commune is being achieved. And it will go on like that, because we will not stop pursuing that goal.
And this is the way, hand in hand with the people's power.
Belén de los Santos, Denise Arabí, for teleSUR, Quebrada de Cuba, Venezuela.
In Brazil, Hugo Mota was elected president of the House of Representatives, while David Alcolumbre was elected president of the Senate. Deputy Hugo Mota, supported by Workers' Party, the Liberal Party, and 16 other parties, was elected president of the Chamber of Deputies with a vote of 444 parliamentarians, the second highest vote in history. Similarly, David Alcolumbre will assume the Senate for a second time, obtaining 73 of the 81 votes, also backed by an ARC of alliances ranging from the Workers' Party to the Liberal Party. The main guidelines of the political left in Congress include regulating social networks, enriching tariffs, and reducing the working day. Young people from all over Brazil gather in Recife this week for the biannual Congress of the National Students' Union. Our correspondent Brian Mears has the details.
Thousands of students traveled in bus convoys from across Brazil to Recife this week for the biannual Congress of the National University Students' Union, or UNE. After a series of debates on the political conjecture and cultural exchange activities, they held an assembly where they voted on their priorities for the next 2 years. In addition to school reforms, they agreed to fight for a tax on large fortunes and an end to the 6-day work week.
This
year is important for social mobilization.
The social movements have a task to do, and the National Students' Union is rising to the challenge, which is to block the right-wing extremist agenda that punishes the working class and the Brazilian people.
Founded in 1937, the UNI is one of Brazil's largest and oldest social movements. Historically connected to the Communist Party, it was a key player in the fight against Brazil's military dictatorship. During the Bolsonaro administration, UNI mobilized over 1 million people to the streets in 2 occasions, triggering the resignation of 4 education ministers and blocking the government from charging tuition in public universities.
Students from across Brazil came here and spent 5 days discussing the future of our nation. We spoke about ideas for new public policies, including how to reform our universities so we could decide what steps we need to take to create a country that is better and fairer. The story of the National Students' Union is intertwined with the story of Brazil. Our struggle continues to defeat the far right and move forward so the people can have the dignity of the quality education needed to defend Brazil.
The size and success of the event shows that 88 years after its founding, Latin America's largest student movement remains an influential force in Brazilian politics. Brian Meir, teleSUR, Recife.
Let's take a very short break, but remember you can join us on our TikTok account as teleSUR English, where you'll be able to see news in different formats, news updates, and more. Stay tuned for more news. Welcome back to From the South. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced the imposition of tariffs after describing President Trump's decision as a betrayal. The Premier gave an extensive account of Canadians' gestures of solidarity with the U.S. and recalled the previous agreements in force. The Canadian Chamber of Commerce also reacted to the White House decision, calling it deeply disturbing. The head of the government also announced alliances with Mexico, its other TMEC partner, and explained the first round of impositions on the U.S.
Tonight, I am announcing Canada will be responding to the U.S. trade action with 25% tariffs against $155 billion worth of American goods. This will include immediate tariffs on $30 billion worth of goods as of Tuesday, followed by further tariffs on $125 billion worth of American products in 21 days' time to allow Canadian companies and supply chains to seek to find alternatives.
In Haiti, criminal groups attacked Kenskov commune, bringing about around 55 casualties in the hills of the Port-au-Prince capital. Local authorities noticed that criminal groups which came from Carrefour commune were hitting for various domestic sites in attempts to take them over. Some victims lost their life due to accidental bullets coming across their homes and shooting, while others were killed by the time they were working in the fields of this rural commune. Officials further gave account of multiple injured and displaced people. In view of the situation, the government stated that security operations will search as part of the steady measures against the wave of violence. The Bolivian government handed over new houses to residents of the indigenous communities of Oruro Department. The president of Bolivia, Luis Arce, delivered on Saturday the dignified buildings that replaced the small houses of adobe and thatch roofed. The head of state announced that soon other houses will be assigned as part of the plan to improve the living conditions of other indigenous families. Arce administration plans to invest over $1.28 million for indigenous autonomous community of Uruchipaya. In El Salvador, at least 2 people were killed and 1 injured in a new traffic accident in the country's capital. Authorities detailed that the accident occurred in the early hours of the morning when a motorcycle and a private vehicle collided at kilometer 14 of the Pan American Highway in San Martin, San Salvador East. It should be noted that the National Civil Police report that so far in 2025, there have been 1,482 accidents, of which 82 people have died and 937 have been injured. In response to the increase in these accidents, the controls established in the traffic regulations approved in December 2024 have been increased, including the application of photo fines and other enforcement measures. Let's take our last break, but before we invite you to visit our YouTube channel at teleSUR English, where you'll be able to watch on interviews, top stories, special broadcasts, and more. Hit the subscribe button and active the notification bell to stay up to date on the world's most recent events. We'll find a short break, don't go away. Welcome back. Israeli occupation forces bombed numerous buildings at the Jenin refugee camp in the occupied West Bank in the latest hour. Palestinian authorities announced that the Israeli army simultaneously blew up some 20 buildings in the eastern side of the camp after placing explosives in them. Furthermore, they briefed that more than 25 Palestinians have been hit to death in these attacks, in addition to the countless injuries and arrests. Concurrently, Tel Aviv regime troops shot down a young Palestinian in another refugee camp of Hebron. All these aggressions are being mounted despite the ceasefire agreement reached with the Hamas Palestinian resistance movement. The Israeli army killed in 13 days at least 25 Palestinians during operations against the West Bank. Health authorities reported that the military shot at a 73-year-old Palestinian in Jenin whose body was taken to hospital by Red Crescent ambulances. They also report our occupation forces continue to reform control of the region by sending soldiers and armored vehicles. At the same time, Israeli forces scale the demolition of structures in several areas of the refugee camp. Likewise, the Israeli defense in Gaza warned of humanitarian crisis that thousands of Palestinians are living in the Gaza Strip as a consequence of the Israeli aggressions. The NDD ensured that freezing temperatures in a winter pose a danger of citizens who are also facing a crisis of food, medical assistance, and basic services. Meanwhile, the United Nations Mine Action Services have learned that hundreds of Palestinians are at risk due to the number of unexploded explosives buried under buildings and rubble. Russia denounces as a war crime the attack perpetrated Saturday by the Ukrainian forces against the boarding school in the Russian city of Sushad. According to the Russian Investigative Committee, the legal order was given by the Ukrainian Colonel Rostislav Karpusha, commander of the 19th Missile Brigade. The investigation showed that the colonel ordered to shield the civilian building with missiles. The committee launched a criminal legal process to find the officer and all others involved in the attack, which left several deaths and wounded. The Defense Ministry assured that these aggressions once again expose the terrorist and inhuman nature of the Ukrainian leadership. In the Democratic Republic of the Congo, hospitals in Goma are struggling to cope following fierce fighting with M23 rebels, which has seen hundreds of people killed. At Keshishero Hospital, beds are full of patients with traumatic injuries. The M23 consolidated their control of Goma over the last week. The rebels continue advancing into neighboring South Kivu province and were approaching its capital, Bukavu. Goma has long served as a hub for humanitarian aid in the troubled region, and millions are at risk with humanitarian operations being brought to a standstill due to the fighting. And 23 is the most potent of more than 100 armed groups vying for control in Congo's mineral-rich east and are currently supported by around 4,000 troops from neighboring Rwanda. Now changing topics, Kenyan musician McKinley Mutsembi have been played his trumpet for 24 hours straight at the Geuku Cafe in Nairobi in an attempt to set a Guinness World Record for the longest continued trumpet perform. Let's see.
Yes, you'll do it. You know, we have a good pedigree. We're marathon runners, so this is the first time we're seeing a musician try to achieve the same thing our marathon runners achieve all over the world. It's beautiful.
But he just clocked 21 hours, so it's exciting to see if he's going to beat the remainder 3 hours. I feel like if he beats it, that's going to be amazing. That's amazing. Blowing a trumpet for 24 hours straight is amazing, if you ask me.
And with that story, we have come to the end of this news brief, but you can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. You can also join us on our socials. We're on Facebook, on X, and on Instagram as well. For Telesur English, I'm from the South. I'm Herrera. Thank you for watching.